Hello and welcome to Scorcher Toys at AnyMoon.com's transformation guide for Bandai's 160 DX YF 30 toys. To begin, collapse your landing gears. Piece of cake. Also, if you've got this gun installed, now would be your opportunity to remove it. You won't be needing that back arm in future modes. Step 2, pop open these doors here, which as you can see is connected to the arm. You're gonna just reach your finger back, pop it open, then flipping the toy over, you'll see there is a tab that is connecting the wing to the leg. Just going to gently pull away from the leg, which will free up that tab and allows you to bend the wings upward. Now we're going to focus on freeing up the arms. When you first get the toy, it comes with hands that are in sort of a saluting fixed pose. These are the articulated hands. They fit just fine in fighter mode. So right now we open up this bay door that frees the hand up. You're going to rotate this bottom part of the wing upward, and then turning your attention to the front here, there's a little tab that is recessed beneath that front little winglet, which I'm sure is the proper aeronautical term. You are going to get a fingernail in there and pry it forward like so, and then you can pop open this bay door here and rotate the entire arm forward so that this slot will go into that peg. And there you hear a nice little click telling you that that has happened. All right, go ahead and repeat on the other side as well. Now we're going to turn our attention to the legs. There is a gear walk joint right behind the intake. Just go ahead and bring the legs down at that gear walk joint. You can extend the legs at the knee just by pulling away. You can bring the legs then forward. There's a rotation point there. And now you have your standard. You pull the feet away and open those feet up. Now you see there is a little spot where the feet are fully extended. Kind of locks in a little bit there. Open up the feet. You can now close these, if you haven't already, close these doors that hid the fists. You could also at this point bring down these trap doors on the wings. Just make sure you're getting all the fragile bits nice and tucked in. Alright, now let's focus on pulling that missile bay up. To begin, we're going to create some room for it by pushing down the wings, like so. We are then going to flip the toy over, and I will show you that the crotch kind of locks that missile bay in place in fighter mode. So we have to slide the missile bay out past that crotch before we can flip it over. The easiest way to do this is just to completely remove it and then position it how you want it. If you're not going to go that route and you're really stickler for perfect transformation, you don't want to remove anything, you still have to pull it out to the point where it's basically not on the toy anymore. So you've got your clearance, at which point you could bring it up and rotate it around like so. Alright, so I've repositioned the legs a little bit to get the toy to stand on its own, and you can see it's in what is kind of a traditional, if not very aggressive, gear walk pose right now. Since there's nothing that locks these fins into a proper position, you would eyeball it, get those fins where you want to be. And I've made sure that these winglet bottoms are completely rolled over on the forearms. You would then just pull away from the body on the arms, on these fins, and that gives you a little space to rotate the arms. You're also going to swivel them at the bicep, and you should get it so you've got your elbows and they can come all the way up. That's how you know you've got your arms in the proper position. You might need to rotate your fists a little bit, but there you go. So now this is really a pretty traditional gear walk mode here, but this is not the YF30's gear walk mode. There's still a couple more steps. Okay, so I flipped the toy over. I am now going to free the intakes at the hips here, which frees the whole fuselage. I'm going to slide the intakes back towards the rear of the plane. That reveals two little teeth here that I will push down. I can then rotate up the waist of Batroid mode and flip the toy around. You can see this area here, it's kind of, and this is kind of free falling there. So what you have now is a brace. That's a separate part that is obviously going to make a lot of people groan. Flip open these little bay doors. You need to shove this brace into this groove here. The brace has little pegs in the front that go into the holes the intakes just came out of. And then it has little slots in the rear for these pegs right here. When in place, it fits very securely. It takes a little bit of effort to get it there. So I pushed that front peg in first, pushed these two pegs into the intake spots, and then the back kind of just does what it's supposed to do. And now that waist area is kind of locked where it needs to be. Okay, we're almost there. The last step is to move this metal swing bar into its upward position. So I will apply a little bit of pressure. That swing bar comes loose. It might be difficult to see, but this metal swing bar here is moving. I'm going to pivot the intakes a little bit to help it move. And then there's an upward locked position. And that moves the intakes up to the very top. So they're as close as they can be to where they were before you swung this crotch down. If you forgot to do it when you installed the brace, now would be the time that you close these bay doors up. And then you are in gear walk mode. Obviously I've fiddled with the arms a little to get them in the position I would like them to be in. You can now pivot the top of the plane without moving the legs, which is the benefit of that waist. Definitely check out my full review. Let's keep going to Batroid. Alright, to continue on to Batroid mode, you are going to straighten out the legs. So that means you're going to bring that metal swing bar inside, back down to a lower position. And you're probably going to have to rotate the legs at the hip a little bit to do that. You just apply pressure downward. Now you can see the metal swing bar inside there coming down. Locks into place. You straighten out that gear walk joint. And you've got the legs now in what looks like it should be a Batroid position. Now you also collapse the legs here if you have them extended at all. Go ahead and collapse them now. You're also going to bring the missile bar forward here. Bring these guys, the wings upward, and fold the exterior portion of the wing down, like so. Alright, turning your attention to the back of the toy, you're now going to pop off the brace that you had installed, like so. You are going to extend the legs outward. Just apply pressure away from the inside, like so. And then you just bring the nose cone down like that. Alright, once you've pulled the nose cone down, you reveal the teeth in the front here. So you need to pull those back down. And then you are going to move the rear of the craft upward. So you now have pretty much a straight presentation, like so. This is the portion of transformation that can get a little tricky. Above the nose cone, there's a little trap door that you are going to bring out. That becomes the cover of the chest. You can pretty much just let the weight of the craft do it for you. There's a couple pivot points that will then free up. And you can see it from underneath. You're going to push the neck plate out. There's two little hinges here. Kind of hard to see, but you can push up and out, and that will create these triangles, or this will cause the triangles to pop out on top right here. So I'm not sure if you can see that, but we're going to push up, and you get these little triangles on either side, and the head gets free from the housing it was in, and you could spin that head around now. And you are on your way. Alright, now you have a couple pivots, and you are going to let the weight of the craft bring the toy back, and then pivot forward. And then down here, you're going to make sure you have this extended as far as you can, and you're going to pivot the crotch forward. So this is coming forward, this is going back, and you will get to a point where those teeth you extended can go into the slots in the top of the waist. So that would be like so. Now, to really pinch things tight, you put your finger in behind. This is in the instructions here. And you push down and lock those teeth into that waist position. And then the toy folds back over the canopy like so. At this point, it's beneficial to get the missile boom out of your way, so I'm going to just move this wing so you can kind of see what's going on. The missile boom is now bumping into the back of the plane, so we're going to go ahead and lift that up, pinch it forward, and then that creates a little bit more clearance in the back, and then we'll close that wing back up. And now would be a good time to also close in these bay doors there. Okay, so the final step in transformation is to bring in your intakes and also to get your head properly articulated. There's kind of a double ball going on there. It should look like it's got a neck. It'll look something like this. Now, I have not installed the clip, the brace that comes with the toy, and it would be a question as to how necessary that really is. So as you can see, I've got the toy. It's in Batroid mode now. It looks good, and I can handle it relatively well. I guess one last tweak would be to spin these rear stabilizers inward. So, good looking, doesn't need the brace, but you're supposed to install it. So let's take a look at how you do that. And so the question first to answer is, why would you use the brace? And the answer to that is that the top of the toy is not really connected to anything right now. Also, the nose cone could droop on you, theoretically. So, Bandai gives you this piece here. The front of the piece fits into the same slot that the previous brace fit into. It's got little teeth for the edges of it. And again, it clips up into the intake holders, which are now up above the chest. So you just fit it in like so. Get it in those intake holders. And then push back a little bit to lock everything securely in place. And there you have it. You have now, with that brace installed, you can now really handle your Batroid mode and not worry about things flopping about on you. Alright guys, thanks for checking out my transformation guide. Be sure to check out my full high-definition video review and my article on anymoon.com for all my insight. Thanks for viewing.